मैम सर ने बोला 2 to 3 बहुत होंगे.
Guys, fill up the front rows.
There are 3 seats vacant. Last 3 students come here. Leave first 2 rows and sit from there. Everyone sit straight. Phone should be on silent and in the pockets. Nothing should be kept on the table. Not the water bottle, not the bag. Nothing. Good afternoon, everyone. We will now begin the inauguration session, Aram 2026. To formally welcome our guests and students and introduce the dignitaries on the dais, I invite Professor Saugatare, PG Chairperson, PG Program, IMI Bhubaneswar.
Good afternoon and welcome to Aram 2026. We have all gathered here today on this special occasion as we mark the beginning of the academic journey for the PGDM batch of 2026-28 and the FPM batch of 2026. On behalf of the Institute and the Program Office, it is a pleasure to welcome each one of you to this beautiful campus and to the beginning of a purposeful and transformative academic journey. I congratulate each one of you on becoming a part of the IMI Bhubaneswar family. Your presence here is a result of your hard work, perseverance, determination, and the invaluable support of your family members. You have earned your place here, and we are delighted to have you among us today. The next 2 years for the PGDM students and a little bit more for the FPM students, this campus will not be just an academic institution for you. It is going to be your home, where you can explore and experiment with ideas and rediscover your true potential. The journey ahead will certainly be challenging, and at the same time, it will ensure that you become good individuals apart from becoming good professionals and managers. So remain curious, stay humble, respect differing viewpoints, challenge yourself continuously, and never stop learning. Learn not only from your professors, but also from your classmates, your seniors, your alumni, your industry leaders, and the countless experiences that the campus life will offer you. Today, we are honored to have with us two very distinguished leaders from industry who have made remarkable contribution in their respective fields. Our guest of honor, Mr. P. Anand, is the CEO of Urja Steel, a Sandur Group company and one of India's leading manufacturer of special bar quality steel, serving various sectors such as automotive, defense, aerospace, and the railways. He brings with him over 3 decades of distinguished leadership experience with Tata Steel, where he was responsible for strategic, commercial, and transformational initiatives and has led several business excellence strategy engagement across the Tata Group, including various companies like Tata Motors, Tata Consumer Products, Tata Chemicals, Tata Powers, and many others. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering and a postgraduate degree in management from XLRI Jamshedpur. Mr. Anand has served and led various industry bodies and is currently the co-chair of FICCI Karnataka Council. Mr. Anand is a regular speaker at various institutions, which includes ISB Hyderabad, XLRI Jamshedpur, and various IIMs, and has co-authored several case studies on innovation, transformation, and market-shaping initiatives, which are part of the MBA curriculum in various B schools. Welcome, sir. We are equally honored to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Nipun Agarwal, co-founder and CEO of Ritualistic. An accomplished entrepreneur, business leader, and a brand builder, he has held leadership positions in several organizations such as Reliance Retail, Snapdeal, Pepperfry, and the Gitanjali Group. Through Ritualistic, he is passionately working towards reviving India's timeless traditions and cultural heritage to contemporary products and experiences. Under his leadership, Ritualistic has emerged as a unique brand at the intersection of culture, spirituality, design, and commerce. Mr. Nipun is also a well-known content creator and community builder with a passion for inspiring people through stories of entrepreneurship, personal growth, fitness, and mindful living. Through his work, he advocates the importance of purpose-led leadership, continuous learning, and building businesses that create economic and social value. So welcome to the IMI Bhubaneswar campus. We are also privileged to have with us our respected acting director and Dean Academics, Professor Supriti Mishra. Professor Mishra is a distinguished scholar in corporate strategy and governance. She is a postdoctorate from the Stern School of Business, New York University, and a PhD from IIT Kharagpur. Through her scholarship, academic leadership, and commitment, she continues to guide students and corporate leaders alike, nurturing a culture of excellence and innovation. Professor Mishra has delivered invited lectures across numerous countries and has served as a visiting professor at reputed international universities. Beyond academia, she actively contributes to industry and society through her roles as an independent director, board member, advisor, consultant, and mentors. Welcome, ma'am. I also extend a warm welcome to Professor Saurabh Sarma, chairperson of the FPM program at IMI Bhubaneswar. Professor Sharma is a distinguished professor in the area of information systems and analytics. He has about 25 years of experience in academia, research, and consultancy in the area of business analytics, enterprise resource planning, and management information systems. He joined IMI Bhubaneswar in 2014 and over the years have contributed immensely to the growth and development of the institution by serving in various academic and administrative capacities. Welcome, sir. Last but not the least, I welcome all my academic and non-academic colleagues of IMI Bhubaneswar. Welcome you all to Arambh 2026. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you, sir. We shall now proceed with the ceremonial lighting of lamp, symbolizing knowledge, wisdom, growth, and a collective commitment towards a sustainable future. May I request our chief guest, guest of honor, acting director, and dignitaries on the dais, with few student volunteers to kindly participate in the ceremony. Thank you, esteemed dignitaries. Now I would like to call upon stage Professor Saugatare to present a sapling to our guest of honor. Now I would like to call upon stage Professor Saurabh Sharma to offer a sapling to our chief guest. It is now my privilege to invite Professor Supriti Mishra, Acting Director and Dean Academics, IMI Bhubaneswar, to address the gathering. May I request Professor Mishra to deliver her inaugural address.
Thank you, Pranav. A very good afternoon. A very good afternoon. How was the lunch? I didn't see your voice. How was the lunch? It was good? Yeah, that is why the voice is low. You know, when you start enjoying the lunch, then the voice goes low, right? So, yeah, a very good afternoon. The honorary chief guest, Mr. Nipun from Ritualistic. Then we have Mr. P. Anand from Ajay Steel. We have Professor Swagata Ray, who is the chairperson program, PGTM program. And we have Professor Saurabh Sharma, who is the chairperson, FPM. All my dear colleagues in the audience, the faculty members, the staffs, my dear students, the student volunteers, the IT staff, the program staff, and all the members who have worked behind the screen, and our photographers, our student photographers there, including our anchor and our volunteers here. So, a very warm welcome to IMI Bhubaneswar. Today, when we stand here and when you sit here, it not only marks a new beginning in your life, but also in your career. Going forward, what will be your future life? What will be your future career? What are the things that are in store for you, right? So one good thing that I really, I wanted to tell you that you should be very, very, one of the very, some kind of pioneering batch who would be actually leading the kind of restructuring that we have worked upon in our course curriculum. Many of you must have attended the orientation session when we are doing the, giving you the briefing about the course curriculum, right? But before I talk about that, I think let me give you a brief introduction about IMI. IMI starts with a rich legacy of IMI New Delhi, which was established in 1981. That time the mentoring institution was IMD Luzon. So with that kind of a legacy, IMI New Delhi started, and IMI Bhubaneswar followed in the year 2011. So we established our institution in 2011. So whatever you see now, all the infrastructure that you see now, it was all the same that time. So from the very beginning, we had a grand vision of setting up a grand institution with this kind of a grand infrastructure. So standing in this 16-acre law screen campus and situated in this peace corner of the state capital Bhubaneswar, the institute embarked upon its journey towards education and excellence by starting with a very small number of students. You must be wondering, why a small number of students? We just started with a batch of 12 students. Now, why is that? Because from the very beginning, we wanted to focus on quality and excellence. So we didn't want to compromise on the quality. And that's where we said that, because IMI Bhubaneswar just set up and not many people that time knew about it. So we said, be it, we don't care. But we are there, we are doing the business, so we would be teaching. So we'll be imparting education to a very, very socially sensitive and ethically oriented bunch of 12 very highly motivated students. So there where the journey started. and we have not stopped, we have never looked back. Because every year after that, we still had to face that challenge of being content with a smaller number of a batch size. But we, the group, the RP Sanjeev Goenka group, who actually, that, under the aegis of who is IMI, cell sets cell meaning not SELL, SAIL. So cell sets academic program. So, so they, under the aegis of the Honorable Chairman, Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, IMI never thought of compromising on the quality and always emphasizing on the student quality, the faculty quality, and the quality in the delivery of our educational services. So that is how we had a very humble start. But then I think that is the time, and this is the time when we are standing now, when we can see a hall full of students, okay, and we are here to welcome you. So that is where, IMI started its journey, and it was very soon, it was identified by many accrediting agencies, institutions, international, national recognitions, and many more. I am not going to talk about it because I think that would be, a lot of things will be talked about it in the coming few days, and also all these details you must have already heard in the website. So I'm not going to talk about it, but what I'm just trying to say is that this is the belief, the core belief on which IMI starts. And going forward, what has happened is that, like all of you are witness to all those briefings that was happening, we took up a very, very revolutionary step last year of restructuring the course curriculum. Restructuring the course curriculum at this juncture, when there is a lot of uncertainty in the industry, and the industry was losing its faith in an education called MBA. And in fact, that was being shown in the placement statistics. There were even leading big schools, they could not place all of their students. And when the industry was asked this question, that why the students are still unplaced, they said that there is a skill, there is a mismatch between the demand and supply. The skill that we require and the skill that the business schools are supplying us with. And that is where our group, the IMI group of institutions, Delhi, Bhubaneswar, and Calcutta campuses, we thought and we pondered over what can be done. And there came this suggestion from none other than Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, who advised to go for a curriculum overhaul. So the curriculum overhaul happened not just by any kind of assumption, but by market research, industry research, and survey. And that is when we came up with this, a very unique program, where now we do not have specializations or electives that, your seniors would have done. We have now career tracks. And these tracks are basically oriented towards what the industry needs. So I'm not going to talk about the tracks now, but what I'm just trying to say is that it was oriented and it was designed as per the industry's requirement and the industry's demand. And one of the horizontals that was common across all the courses was the AI tsunami. So AI was integrated into all the courses, most of the courses, and ESG, which is one of the major concerns of most of the industries now. All of you have heard of ESG? Many of you would be knowing AI, right? AI is very common. ESG? Yeah? What is that, ESG? Environmental, social, and governance, right? So that's a horizontal, meaning we have tried to integrate that across the courses. Now, coming to today's inaugural, you can see that we have very carefully chosen and identified two luminaries. One, representing a traditional business setup, which is still, but it is traditional, but it is kind of, it exists forever. Still industry, It's going to be there forever. Whatever the industry change might happen, AI tsunami can come, anything can come. That's going to be like steel. Okay? So the steel industry will be always like steel. And then we have a very new, you know, ideating mind, who is Mr. Nipun, okay, who is brimming with new ideas. And he comes up with, lot of, innovative ideas and startups. He has, I think you already heard from the profile that Professor Ray was reading, that he worked with a lot of startups, including Paperfry, and now Ritualistic is what he leads, okay? So we are basically trying to bring in both these perspectives, right? Just to give you an idea, how many of you have heard of this company called Ritualistic? You? Okay. Can I just have one of the pieces? Where is that? I just got one. Just give me one piece. Just to kind of give you an idea exactly what they do, is that they do this kind of things. Okay? Familiar? Wall hangings. So these are wall plates. Okay? So they do. So you can already see the kind of innovative design, but that is weaved with, tradition, culture, religion. Okay? Spirituality. Not exactly religion, but spirituality. So we are trying to bring in and contrast these two ideas, and they will give you the perspectives of both these worlds, right? So, and before I give it over to them, a few things that I wanted to tell you is that, of course, from tomorrow we'll start with the serious business. There'll be a lot of orientation sessions that we have planned. You must have already seen the spreadsheet that has been shared with you. A lot of industry sessions by very senior people, and then many a few sessions on AI, also prompt engineering, and many sessions related to your academics also before we start the classes. But one thing that you should always keep in mind, that academics will continue to happen, but also the campus experience is something that you never fail to experiment. I was very happy to see bunch of you playing cricket last evening and today morning. It was really a, very, kind of a pleasing scene to be, experiencing. So that was really nice. So welcome to our campus. And it's good that from the very first day, from day one, you have started experimenting the campus life, right? So experiment the campus life. There are a lot of clubs and committees, okay? And that will give you a plethora of opportunities of how to, better your campus experience and campus life. But while doing all that, don't stop to have an inquisitive mind, to ask questions. When you are going to the class, ask questions. Try to learn, try to ideate, okay? Try to ponder over things. Try to go beyond the defined and structured things, okay? Then only all this restructuring that we have done will have its meaning. So with this few words, I'd like to stop my bhasan, okay? If you think it was something like that, okay? And welcome aboard, welcome to IMI Bhubaneswar campus, and welcome you all, and thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words and guidance. It's now my privilege to invite our guest of honor, Mr. P. Anand, CEO, Ajay Steel, to share his thoughts and experiences with our gathering. May I request Mr. Anand to kindly address the gathering.
Good afternoon. The first thing I observed when I dropped into this room is that all of you guys are wearing white. So welcome to discipline. So that's one thing you read in the management business schools. And that is what, when long time back, even I went through this passage of learning. Professor Supriti Mishra, Dean Academics and Acting Director, IMI Bhubaneswar, Professor Saugata Ray, Chairperson of the program, respected faculty members, and my dear students of the PGTM batch. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to this beautiful campus for the inauguration of your orientation program. As I entered this institute, I must say the vibrancy and the serenity of the campus was immediately palpable. It is much more than what I saw in the internet and built it up in my speech, but it was really nice, and the campus, the salubriousness of the campus. It took me back to my own student life when I too began shaping my management skills and my leadership journey in a similar setting. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, ma'am, and even briefly, one of the most joyous moments of my life as of now. I believe, as I said, in serendipity, and this occasion is special for me for several reasons. Until recently, about a year back, I lived in Calcutta for more than 2 decades. And for many of these years, I was a neighbor of the Goenka family. I lived in the same street as the Goenka house. Behind was the Tata Steel houses. And I would often notice Dr. Sanjeev Goenka during his morning walks to the horticultural garden. What struck me, and I still remember vividly, was the disciplined, composed, attentive, and most importantly, unhurried way he used to make his walks. These brief observations taught me something important. Leadership is not announced loudly. It is sometimes revealed in its consistency, in its restraint, and how one carries responsibility in ordinary moments. And walking in a horticultural garden was a very democratic, ordinary moments, and the leadership resonates very strongly in those moments of truth. Second, this place is very important for me because this is my sasural and I'm a damad and I couldn't refuse this invite. So, and third, also it's important that I have a long and very affectionate association with academia and management institutions. So being here is both professionally and personally thankful. Thanking you. So in this age of AI, it is very easy to give you a lot of information, a lot of data, and a lot of gyan. But I'll try my best to detest from that and give you something that is more important to me in terms of my life experiences. So over the last 2 days, I thought about it, and there are 10 life experiences, and very shortly, I would like to tell you which I experienced over the almost 30 years of my experience in a hardcore corporate life. So I stand here as an edifice of corporatism and how we straddle the corporate life as an experience. So several decades ago, like many of you, I also came from a typical middle class family. I came from the steel city of Jamshedpur. So steel is absolutely bred into me. My father was in Tata Steel, then Tesco, and my mother was an English teacher who later became the principal of a school, of a well-known school. In our home, education was not only a decorative achievement, it was the onus of being. It was the passport to dignity, it was confidence, and it was opportunity. My only claim to fame, and I'm very proud of it, and I want to say it in any case, is that Madhavan, who happened to win the Padam Shri recently, happens to be a school buddy of mine for almost 12, 13 years. A good friend, but when we were students, none of us knew who would become what. That is important. That is the beauty of the youth that you straddle now. Your story is still being written, and your first draft is never your final version. So with this, 10 life lessons that I have learned and I have imbibed and I have tried to emulate. The first is success is only an outcome. The true meaning is the journey itself. Especially you learn through failures. I'm sure you would have read it. I'm sure you would have experienced it. But believe you me, success, even as Jeff Bezos has recently says, Be proud. Don't be proud of your awards. Be happy about your awards. Be proud about the when you fell down and stood up and made a difference. And that to me, my friends, would be the key connotation of success as you go ahead in your life. We see many examples around it. I'll tell you the example of Madhavan. He struggled in life. He was not very good in academics. He went on to teach in Nagpur. He studied. Then he was very brilliant in dramatics. And he stayed in a one-room. Many of you don't know. He stayed in a one-room apartment in Bombay for a very long time. And look what he has achieved. So it is the moments when he fell down, and people who have seen him falling down and stand up is what are the markers for success. So never let success be a marker of your achievement. It is only an outcome of the hard efforts that you will have to go. And there is no profession in this life that does not mark, and I'm sure Nipun will also tell you in his course of his speech. Second is choose your career. Do not let your career choose you. Many young professionals drift into careers because the market is fashionable, the salary is attractive, and everyone else is going in that direction. That will happen to you, surely so. There is nothing wrong with ambition or financial aspiration, but there is a danger in sleepwalking into a profession. During these 2 years, ask yourself, what kind of problems energize you? Do I enjoy markets, people, operations, analytics, finance, strategy, brand, technology, entrepreneurship? And in that world of AI, when information is so easily and the answers are so easily given, what really lies is in the questions that you ask and in developing a domain depth that is so uniquely yours. So everyone, and I'm telling you with a lot of honesty, everyone is known not because of 10 reasons. They are known because of one or two things that stand by them. That uniqueness that attracts talent towards you, the uniqueness that attracts companies towards you are only one or two, and make it yours. As in McKinsey, they say when the McKinsey picks up graduates from business school, they look at spikes. What is your spike? And that is important. Have your own spike that is so differentiated from others, and that will make the uniqueness that you have. Lesson number 3, beware of decision drag. And this to me is very important. Many intelligent people suffer not because they cannot think, but because they think for too long. They want every variable optimized, every risk eliminated, and every option compared. They want not a solution, but the best available solution. There is a long time back, a very senior professor told me, in a corporate life, good is good enough. Perfection is not necessarily good, because time is a very important variable on decision making. You will read the time value for money when you do the NPR calculations for CapEx. Crucially so. So make decisions, and do not make decisions that become a drag because you wait for more information to percolate. More information is not a progress. It can be a delaying of a decision that you take. Lesson number 4, think systems, not isolated choices. Management is rarely about solving one problem as isolation. We get excited if I get a problem, I solve it. Never think in that way. Whatever level in the management you are, please understand the solution you are making is impacting a much larger solution that the company is chasing for. Never, global optima is always better than suboptimal local optimas. Always remember that. At the same time, when you act without seeing the system, you create unintentional consequences. The real art is in the balance. Think of a cricket captain seeing a field. One change in the field placement affects the bowler's line, the batter's shot selection, and the pressure in the game. Similarly, managers must see patterns, linkages, and learning is not about action. Learning is about the outcomes come from the very fact that what is your degree of execution. People are not paid for ideating. People are paid for translating the ideas into actions, because the money on the table is when actions become real. So lesson number 5, do not outsource judgment. This is also very important. Many times we take into consultants, we talk to experts, we talk to peers, we talk to our chat GPTs. This is all for information, but judgment is yours because judgment leads to ownership. And without ownership, no decision will come to fruition unless you own the decision. So don't delegate judgment. Don't be lazy on decision making because decisions are where you are being taught for, right? So lesson number 6, develop perspicacity. Perspicacity is nothing but the ability to see clearly and act without unnecessary friction. Perspicacity is not intelligence. It is a sharp perception. It is the ability to look at a crowded situation and identify what truly matters. In management, many people are busy, but few are effective. Many meetings are long, but few decisions are taken. Many presentations are beautiful, but few insights are gleaned. And this is where the difference is. Change is preceded by weak signals. So I was in Tuck University once in Boston. Professor Govindarajan said a very nice thing. He said, every day weak signals are palpable. It is our ability to capture the weak signals and make change happen is where the real leadership lies. Everybody has to have that situational awareness to see the signals coming. And real change happens when the signals are magnified and actions take place. Lesson number 5, do not merely become a good manager, become an effective. I know this can be a little controversial. People talk about good governance, good companies. My belief is first be an effective company. Goodness only comes when you make the company effective. Goodness, so a good manager is a polite, organized, and process-oriented. An effective manager creates impact. Effectiveness does not mean aggression. It means clarity of purpose, respect for people, and discipline in execution. The best managers combine compassion and standards. Impact without fairness becomes fear. Fairness without impact becomes sentiment. Leadership needs both. Lesson number 8, manage information overload. So everything has been said because we are in the world of information. Information, more information, and sometimes we fall in the trap that a little more information is an action taken. Little more information may be an action taken, but it again goes back to the fact that there's a decision drag. Take information that is important. Learn the art of not seeking information that is not important. So there is a difference between information and perception. And as you mature into an organization, you will learn the innate art of perception, which comes from seeing a few things, but making a decision that is far more impactful than the information that it gets. Lesson number 10, last of my lessons, stay rooted while you grow. Ambition is necessary. You will all be successful. You will make a pots full of money. You will be standing at the podiums and speaking like me at some point of time. But be rooted, because the best examples, and when you write your memoirs, it is the memoirs that you will write that how good you have been to the Darwan, how little change you have made to make a person's life better, what training or volunteerism you have done in your life. If you ask me today, those would be my most enduring and my indelible moments of memories, not what achievements that have come in my career. So my dear students, the next 2 years will pass faster than you imagine. Please do not reduce your management education to grades, placements, CVs. They matter, but they are not the whole story. Use this time to build range, leverage. Sit with people from different states, languages, backgrounds, negotiate, disagree, collaborate, participate in clubs, as Professor had, the acting director had rightly said, participate in networks, build networks, and therefore tomorrow's networks what will matter. Because end of the day, as you rise in the organization, 80% of your tasks are network-led. I am not a steel expert. I have never made steel, but I run a steel plant that supplies steel to BMWs and Mercedes of the world. I don't know the technicalities of steel, but I know the principles of which corporate management can happen. So let me close with a simple thought. Management education will teach you tools, but life will teach you temperament. It will test whether you are remain humble when you succeed, resilient when you fail, decisive when the data is incomplete, fair when you have power, and curious when you think you already know. The world you are entering will be shaped by AI, climate change, ESG norms, geopolitical shifts, new business models, societal expectations. But amid all this change, some things will remain timeless. Integrity, effort, trust, empathy, judgment, courage. May your 2 years at IMI Bhubaneswar help you discover not only what your career wants, but what kind of human being you would want to be and the leader you want to become. I wish each one of you a meaningful, joyful, and transformative journey. Thank you, and my best wishes to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful address. We now have a privilege to invite our chief guest, Mr. Nipun Agarwal, co-founder and COO Ritualistic, to address the gathering. May I request Mr. Agarwal to kindly share his thoughts with our students and guests.
Thank you, Pranav. I'm kind of nervous and excited. First of all, thank you for the distinguished members of the board, the faculty members, and the students. I'm going to ask 3 questions. Uska sahi se jawab dena hai, honestly. Much like me, how many of you today are feeling nervous? Just raise your hand. Arey, आधा हाथ नहीं, पूरा हाथ. हाँ, थोड़े लोग हैं. Excited. How many of you are feeling excited? Ah, nice. Contrary question, how many of you are feeling sleepy? ठीक है, तो पहले sleepiness को थोड़ा खत्म करते हैं. I think a lot of you have reached here because you've put in a lot of effort. You've gone through a lot of anxiety, and which is why you're here, much like me, maybe. And let's start maybe by applauding ourselves. So why don't we just give ourselves a pat on our back and a big round of applause? You know, before I start my address, because startup wala hoon, to breaking boundaries and shackles of what management is, how corporates are run, runs in our blood. Daily, we do things that haven't been done in this country, on this planet. And that brings us with a massive opportunity to fail, all right? So how many of us right now in the student community think that they have everything sorted out, like they know the kind of job that they want, the future that they want to build? Just a raise of your hand. How many of you know what you want to do? All right, cool. One right there. Just about 25 years ago, in the year 2001, I was pretty much sitting there. I was one of you. It was my first year in college, and I had a brand new notebook in my hand, an anxious heart, and a mind that said, I want to win in this corporate world. I want a lot of things for myself. I want a globe-trotting job. How many of you want globe-trotting job? Another raise of a hand. Kis ko aisi job karni hai that helps you travel across the world? A lot of people, right? Some of us want a lot of salary. Some of us are here because our parents pushed here too. And some of us are here because we want to fulfill that dream of our parents, that they want to have a bigger car or a bigger house, etc. But you know, the thing is that if 25 years ago somebody would have told me that at some point of time I'm going to build this brand which is totally based on Vedic rituals, the science behind Hinduism, the decor which is inspired by our scriptures, I would have just laughed. Not just laughed, I would have called the other person, are you out of your mind? 25 years ago, I had no idea that I would be doing this. Back then, spirituality, fasting, mandir jana, etc., was something that it was not on my radar. It was something that possibly my grandparents would do, right? And let alone me wanting to start a brand of my own. But look, the fluidity of life has that beauty. And after spending 23 years into my career, I can tell you that I can promise you, and I can tell you one thing for sure that is going to happen to you if you let it happen to you. My life has not gone at all in a way that I had planned. Nothing that I had planned has happened according to that plan. And thank God that it didn't. Okay? And that is the learning of life that I have that I want to share with you today in this moment. If I had stuck to the original plan that I had made, I would not be possibly standing here. In 2001, I got through the design school NIFT Gandhinagar, which is the capital of Gujarat, National Institute of Fashion Technology. And with nobody coming from the background of fine jewelry, the diamond jewelry business, I graduated as a diamond jewelry designer in 2004. For a few years, I worked as a diamond jewelry designer where I sat down with paper and pencil and I drew and designed these engagement rings for the retailers in the US. At the age of 25, I had a globe-trotting job, although I was paid 25,000 rupees a month, which seemed very high at that time. But I used to travel by myself to New York, Vegas, Basel in Switzerland, or Hong Kong just to sell jewelry to retailers across. Life had its own plans. I thought retail is coming up. Reliance Retail was building up, and I moved from. So my college, my hometown is Meerut. My college was in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar. My first job was in Mumbai, and here I was staring at Bangalore, another new city, where I wanted to join retail. And Reliance Retail, Reliance Jewels was hiring people. I ended up joining a completely new side. I wanted to be the buyer. A lot of people fancy being the buyer, right? Where you have a merchandising plan, factories come to you and they propose to you and you buy from them. It's a fancy one. And there I was sitting as one of the largest buyers in the country, buying 50 crore rupees of diamond jewelry every month from different manufacturers across the country. But life has had its own plans. People had started to buy things on a mobile phone, you know, books, clothes, etc. And I decided to move to e-commerce. And there I was in the founding team of Pepperfry. How many of you know Pepperfry? Ever heard of Pepperfry? All right, a lot of you. They're now leaders in furniture, but back then we were doing fashion. So I was leading their fashion business, fashion and strategy. Again, life has its own plans. After a year of a very, very beautiful, enriching experience, I moved to Snapdeal, an early entrant in the e-commerce business back in 2012. And for 10 years, 2012 to 2022, I worked in Snapdeal, doing just about everything. लोग एक साल में job change करते हैं. I could spend 10 really long years with a company, a startup, and doing just about everything outside of technology maybe. Then 2 years in content creation, running my own YouTube channel, doing nothing but running a YouTube channel, and there it was ritualistic. Why am I telling you all this? Not to share my resume with you, but to share certain key aspects with you. Okay, so far, how many of you are with me? How many of you have been able to hear and absorb what I'm saying? Just a raise of another hand. All right, quite a bit of you. Just hang around for a little bit more. Every time I change the city, every time I change the job, I thought I'm an imposter. Bole to, it felt like I had classmates doing exactly same job that they were supposed to do. They got married, they had families on time, they were once in every quarter taking some tour another part of the country with family. They were doing exactly what society wanted them to do, and here I was changing cities and jobs, not just job, industries. Complete change of industries, career after career, every 5 years, I would say, right? Back then, they looked disconnected. Jewelry design had nothing to do with retail merchandising and buying. Buying had nothing to do with technological tech startups. Tech startups had nothing to do with YouTube channel and social media. And social media had nothing to do with perhaps ritualistic. But no, that's not true. It's eventually I realized that whatever I have learned in past 23 years, and I was sharing it with Dr. Supriti and Anand sir also, that it's like what Sara I have put in a blender, blended, and life said that now you start ritualistic. Suddenly, the supply chain lessons I had learned in Reliance Retail became helpful. The social media and content creation on YouTube that I did helped me narrate stories from our scriptures on Instagram to build a brand. Design education, is this on? Yeah. Design education helped me look at those nuances that a product carefully requires. Suddenly everything was very, very important. If the plans of my life would have gone as I wanted na, ये सब नहीं हुआ होता. बिल्कुल भी नहीं हुआ होता. That's why, thank God, the plans didn't go as I wanted. And here, out of that, I want to share, much like how Anand sir shared 10, I just want to share 4 of those lessons that I really think that you all, your young minds, the nation builders of the country, imbibe. Are you ready for those 4 lessons? How many of you are ready for those 4 lessons? मैं तो कहीं नहीं हाथ उठाने के लिए, just say yes. और इतना हल्का yes. All right, that's nice. All right. First thing which I think is very important is to become a expert experimenter. Look, you know, a toddler falls hundreds of times before a toddler learns to walk. An adult falls once and they stop trying. Isn't it true? The only thing that we seem to learn as we grow, become adult, and grow into our age is to be scared of trying. And that's the first thing that you've got to learn not to do. You've got to stop trying. The 20s, in which most of you are today, 20s are not to follow certain guidelines, to follow exactly the path that you've been told to. It's to discover yourself. I would say experiment with everything. Over next 2 years in this college and then next 5 years in your career, experiment with everything. Because right now sitting here, we possibly don't know what we truly love. We are here for, I don't know what purpose. Maybe you love this, love being here in Bhubaneswar. Maybe you love sitting next to the person you're sitting, or like wearing a white shirt. I don't know. But you're here for some reason that you don't really know possibly. So experiment and learn what life has for you. And I'm saying this because the cost of failure at this point of time is the lowest. Imagine if you fail when you're 30, the cost of failure is going to be so significantly high. The cost of you trying and failing today is the lowest that it ever will be in your life. So please keep trying new things, keep experimenting new things. So learning number 1 I want to share, this is my learning, is to keep experimenting and be the chief experimenting officer in your life. All right? The second that I want to share with you is choose growth over success, because growth over success sounds kind of confusing. Is it? Is it confusing? I'll explain, okay? Success is an event. You're sitting here because you've got through the admission. You've got through so many interviews and assignments and stuff like that to get through this program here, PGDM. And that event is a success. You sitting here is a success, but your entire preparation is the growth journey. It is that growth journey that matters, because success is always an event, but your growth journey is a process. So always chase that growth journey. Remember to learn what you can learn from that process. It's not important to ask, what did I achieve? It's important to ask, listen to me carefully. It's important to ask, have I become a sharper, a better, and a more useful human being? a sharper, a better, and more useful human being, remember to ask that question every few weeks. If you aren't becoming, you may become any CXO. But like Anand sir said, would you really be adding that much value to your own life and to everybody's life around? Maybe not, and which is where your growth will become stagnant. This is my lesson number 2. Third is, don't lose your life building your career. It was point number 10 in Anand sir's list. This is something that almost every corporate speaker will talk about. Not because, rather, because it is something that they have learned over decades and decades of corporate governance and experience, that your job is just a part of your life and not the life. Your college is just a part of your life and not the life itself. You have to remember that. Anybody on the deathbed never said that I wish before my death I had more time checking emails and replying to them. Nobody ever said that. Nobody will ever say that I wish I that year could have made a better presentation in the office. Nobody on the deathbed ever said that. So build a spectacular career, absolutely. Grind, hustle and learn. But protect your relationship, protect your health, and protect your inner peace. Because all of this, your education, your career, like I said earlier, is a part of your life and not the vice versa. My fourth and final suggestion is to have a water mindset. Here is a glass of water, a bottle of water. What does water do? What is that one quality that water has? Can anybody tell me here? Yeah. Adaptability. What else? Taking the shape of the container. उधर से कोई बोल रहा था. Sorry, where? Versatility, diversity, yes. Sorry? Clarity, yes, absolutely. Flow. Now blend all of these things together also. The water was in a bottle. It went into the glass. Somebody said taking the shape, right? Taking the shape of the glass. Put it in your mouth. It takes the shape of your mouth, gets into your food pipe, and wherever it needs to go, it goes. Throw it in the river. It takes the shape of the river. It merges into it. Throw a boulder in front of the river won't fight meri jagah. River will make its way around. Now imagine, what's harder, a mountain or a water? What's harder, a mountain or a water? A mountain is much more harder, right? Rock. Yet the water makes way for itself, not by fighting, just by being flexible, right? It has no ego and it has no fixed shape, right? And that's why water teaches us so many things. When you go through a tough situation in your college, when you have to make a decision, Anand sir spoke about decision making also. When you have to make a tough decision, or you feel that you're failing, don't freeze, just adapt. Adaptability की बात की, flexibility की बात की, versatility की बात की. Just be versatile, because you know you're already trying your best. Well, if you know that you're not trying your best, then please try your best first of all. But if you know that you've tried your best, there's nothing more that you could do other than taking stress of that situation. So instead of taking stress, just be fluid. It's very, very important to be like a water. In fact, when I wrote it down, my address was called the Flow Like a River, the Power of Unplanned Life. And that's what my entire story is about. 20 years from now, or actually just 3 years from now, this program will give you your first job, but your second, third, fourth, fifth job will be decided by your persona, your personality, your learning, your curiosity. Isn't it true? यहाँ से आपको पहली job ही मिलेगी. But how you move, how you flow into the beauty of life in your career will only be decided through who you have become. Not just in you, but also as a human being you've become. So please leave this campus after all these years with three things: your curiosity, your courage, and extreme highly level of empathy and kindness. Ultimately, people will love and matter to you if you're kind to them. Treat others the way you want to be treated. सुना होगा काफी लोगों ने, भूल जाते हैं हम, याद रखना बहुत जरूरी है. If you aren't kind to people, then how can you expect kindness from the same people or anybody else, right? Faculty members and the member of the board, thank you for taking the monumental task of now from here on shaping these young beautiful minds. How you guide them, how you support them is what they will make as the base for next few years of their life. And dear students, don't spend next 2 years finding all the answers. Don't. Spend time learning how to ask better questions. One more question for the sleepy ones. Did Anand sir in his address in those 10 points had any point around this where he spoke about asking better questions? How many of you remember if he had that point or no? Raise your hand. He had that point. अब हाथ खड़ा कर दो, बच जाओगे embarrassment से. Yes, he had that point, right? You have to remember to ask better questions. Why? Because curiosity is the first thing that should come to your mind. If you're curious, it's only then you can answer, you can find answers to those questions. Don't panic if life takes you on a road you've never planned to travel, because ultimately, out of all your travel experiences that you've had, either a bike ride to Lahore, Spiti, or to that fun last minute trip to Goa, or anything in between them, you would remember the most beautiful things that you did on the trip, or the trip itself, or the ones that you never planned would happen to you. Okay? Because 23 years from now, when you stand on the stage looking back at your own magnificent, unpredictable journey, you will realize that the most beautiful destinations in the life are always the ones you've never intended to visit. So flow like a river, keep moving, keep learning, and welcome to this beautiful journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights and inspiring words. We shall now proceed with a felicitation ceremony to honor our chief guest and guest of honor. May I request Professor Supriti Mishra to kindly felicitate our distinguished guest. Now I would request to call upon stage Mr. Anand. Thank you, everyone.
Before we proceed, actually, I just thought that I'll share a very important piece of information, which I, of course, forgot, the statistics. A very interesting statistics this time. So if you look at this, this large cohort of students we have, can you just have a guess, like how many states they would be representing? Any number? 23? 24, okay. Any other guess? So 20 of 28 states, right? So it's almost like 70% of the Indian states and 55% the whole of India representing this room today. And if you ask me where from are the largest cohorts. So no doubt our neighbors, West Bengal, and then Jharkhand, and followed by Uttar Pradesh, then Delhi, of course, Bihar and Odisha are there. Odisha is, of course, one of the highest also. And then so I have a percentage, but that doesn't matter now. But because we know that we have a representation of 20 states, and I think that's amazing, right? So welcome to this diverse cohort of students this time. And if we look at the representation, even the gender representation, we have 54% boys and 46% girls. And if you look at the FPM scholars, so we also have in the crowd some of the FPM scholars who have also taken admission this year. So we have a 50-50 distribution of the gender. So 3 girls and 3 boys we have taken this time. So it's a very, very well balanced cohort we have this time. So I thought this is, I just would like to share this piece of information with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. To formally conclude today's inaugural session, I now invite Professor Saurabh Sharma, Chairperson FPM, IMI Bhubaneswar, to propose a vote of thanks. May I request Professor Sharma to kindly move forward.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Nipun Agarwal, co-founder Ritualistic, Mr. P. Anand, CEO Arjun Steel, Professor Supriti Mishra, Dean Academics, Acting Director IMI Bhubaneswar, Professor Swagatare, Chairperson Program, faculty colleagues, staff, media, dear students. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion of the inauguration of the orientation program ARAMB for the PGDM and FPM batch 2026. On behalf of IMI Bhubaneswar, I sincerely thank our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Nipun Agarwal, for sharing his valuable thoughts and inspiring our students with his experiences and insights and giving that those 4 lessons of life. Those are very important. I also express my heartfelt gratitude to our guest of honor, Mr. P. Anand, for his encouraging words and providing valuable industry perspectives to our students in the form of 10 mantras of success. Thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to Professor Supriti Mishra for her motivating address and warm welcome to the new batch. I would also like to thank Professor Swagatare for conducting today's program and making this event remarkable. A special word of appreciation goes to our faculties, staff members, and support staff whose dedication and hard work made this event a grand success. I would especially thank our CEO, Head Administration, and his entire team for their meticulous planning and excellent coordination. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the parents and guardians of our students. Thank you for showing the trust and confidence in IMI Bhubaneswar. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our media representatives for joining us today, for helping us share the spirit and achievement of IMI Bhubaneswar with wider community. Your presence and support are greatly appreciated. As the quote says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So I welcome you all in IMI Bhubaneswar family. And welcome, and it's the new start. It's a new journey, right? So I wish you all a very best. And I want to know one thing actually, how many of you are feeling homesickness? And not liking the place, the weather of this place? See, to gain something, you need to, you know that thing, right? To gain something, you need to basically bear with these things. I can ensure you one thing, that by the end of this program, you're going to get a good career and good knowledge from the campus. So all the very best. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. We shall now proceed for the official group photograph. May I request all students and faculty members to kindly assemble at amphitheater. Following the group photograph, we shall proceed for plantation activity, symbolizing our commitment towards sustainability, followed by high tea in the cafeteria. Okay. Okay. Students, please wait on your seats. First, faculty and guests will go out, then you. Guys, silence. Hello. After high tea, everyone needs to come back in the auditorium for PM Vidya Lakshmi scheme.